Today we are wrapping one of these beautiful large chunks of raw crystal, so in a macrame net, and it's actually a really good technique for wrapping anything without a hole. These bigger ones are just really pretty hung in the window or somewhere around your outdoor area or house. Today we're using the 1.5mm cotton cord. So to start off with, we just get our lengths. So in these ones you need 4 lengths in total, 1 long one and 3 shorter ones. Today I'm using 1 50-inch length and 3 30-inch lengths. And it does depend on how big your crystal is, so it's a little hard to pick how long you need your lengths, but it's always better to have a bit more than not enough. So the first thing we do is find the middle in all of the pieces of cord. So pop them all together and then tie a knot right in the middle. And then we grab one from each side there, the ones that are next to each other, and tie a knot. So just trying to make the knots about the same distance apart from that original first knot. And we're going to start by going around and tying a knot on all 4 pairs that are coming out. So a knot on each side and then a knot on these 2 that are coming out in between. Then we've got the first layer of our netting. That's going to sit on our crystal like that, so you just got to figure out which way up you want your crystal. We're going to wrap this beautiful rose quartz raw chunk today. Now, holding on to that middle knot, we just grab one from each pair that you've already got coming out, so just the pieces next to each other, and tie that in a knot. So just go around and do that to all 4 again. And that just makes up the next layer. So again, just trying to make sure that your knots are about the same distance away. And see there, we've got the start of our netting happening there. So I just like to check it on my crystal, make sure it's sort of fitting right. And then it sort of gives you an idea how big your knots need to be. So for this one, I'm just going to tie the knots while the crystal is actually in there, so I can get the knots sitting right and about the right size. Sometimes crystals are unique in shape and have a knob on one side or a slightly larger piece, so you can just adjust your knots to be smaller or larger to fit your exact stone. Sometimes that's easier with the stone in there if it does have something like that, or you can take the stone out if it's sort of a regular shaped one, but either way is fine. So we just do all 4 again, grabbing the ones next to each other. And just sort of keep working the netting around your crystal so it all fits on there nicely. If you're not happy with any knots, you can just undo them and tie them again. So it looks like we need one more layer here, so I'll just keep going with another layer on each side. Alright, so this is actually looking really cool. I'm quite happy with the netting so far, so now I'm just going to tie my knot. So I just grab one from each side at the top there. So just from opposite sides and tie a little knot there. And just pull it nice and tight so that sort of secures the netting at the top there so your crystal won't fall out. So then just grab another one from the opposite side and I just thread that one underneath the knot, and then one from this side, and then tie those in a knot as well just to secure that. So it is a bit messy on the top at the moment with all these extra cords, but it'll come together nicely. So just sort of pulling it all up, and then there'll be one that's on the side somewhere, so I just use that one to wrap around. Sometimes I thread it underneath the knot as well, and then just holding onto your cords nice and tight, I just wrap it all around the top of those knots there, just to make it look a nice finish. And then we just grab one cord out of that top bundle and use that to secure this other piece as well. So just tie that one in a knot as well, nice and tight. So we should have two longer threads, longer than all the others, and so just make sure you're not cutting those, but then we just get these other smaller ones aside from the longer ones and just cut them off a bit shorter. I often have some wax nearby and just dab that on there to help singe it. So just tying a knot there so it can hang. It's our beautiful rose quartz crystal chunk.